I was like, no, what the fuck? I'm not playing that game. That doesn't even make sense. You just go in, and if you die, you lose your shit, and if you don't, you got some more shit, and then you're just compiling shit. I was like, why would I play that game? That seems ridiculous. With that being said, I bought Tarkov.
All right, we're live.
All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Easy Company Podcast. What is this? Episode 10. I am AngryPrivateRyan, joined as always by GingerBeerdGaming and 12 Tango Dom.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So I don't think we've actually like explained on any of the other podcasts, but if you could gauge by the content, I'm sure, but we've been kind of pre-recording a lot of these episodes, the last couple episodes. So this one is being recorded on New Year's Day, January 1. So happy New Year to everyone, boys. It's 2021. We're finally done with 2020.
Our planning skills are really excellent by planning a podcast for New Year's Day morning. Given at least two out of our three habits,
Yeah, let the record show. I wanted to do this yesterday, but Kyle had to work.
What's funny though is that we have an episode coming out tomorrow that doesn't even mention New Year's at all. So like our Happy New Year is gonna be like 2 weeks late.
That's what I was like thinking. I was like, shit, we should have like planned like a little bit of our commentary around when we were going to release these fucking things.
I totally agree. And yeah, hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah. It is literally now. Hindsight is 2020.
I got to pull the see you next year line at work the other day, and I was so happy. I was just so happy. That made my dad joke.
That's like, oh my God. That's like the dad joke that comes up every year though.
Oh yeah. You have like one opportunity.
Yeah. Opportunity. It's the best too. I love that one. Oh man. So boys, how did you ring in the new year with some video games?
Basically.
A little bit. Yeah.
I spent the past like 2 weeks just playing video games.
I was gonna say Tango's got more stream time in the last 2 weeks than I think I have all year, maybe.
That freaking Tarkov wiped, as I'm sure everybody knows now. But if you don't play Tarkov, Tarkov every once in a while wipes everybody's characters and basically puts everybody on the same playing field again. So if you're like brand new to the game, that's the best. For approximately 30 minutes, yeah. And then all the sweat lords like me play for 48 hours or play 24 hours within a 48-hour time span, and then we're all like higher levels again. But I've actually been getting like rocked still.
Do they wipe like so when a wipe occurs? You reset your character's levels and everything? I assume all the abilities. Do they reset your stashes and stuff too?
Yes. So sometimes they'll do what's called like a soft wipe, and your character will keep all of his statistics, like all of the soft skills, like your recoil control, your mag drills. Like your character has these soft skills that develop during your playtime, and sometimes they'll let you keep all of that, but they'll wipe out your stash. So they'll wipe out your character's like main level, which affects what traders you have access to and what gear you have access to. So it basically just puts everybody on the same playing field again in terms of the gear that they're using.
But, gotcha.
They did those soft wipes. That's kind of interesting. And I think the last one that they did was like 6 months ago or so.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Maybe longer. I started playing like my first wipe that I got involved in Tarkov was the last one.
Oh, really? I want to say it was like March then, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right. Because that's probably about the time that I started playing, like April or May, actually.
Yeah.
I had Tarkov for years before that, but I just never had any success getting started with it. So,
it's really, you've only been like deep into Tarkov this year, or
me
since that time frame. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I bought it. Oh, I don't know. Probably back when
I
built my PC. Yeah. So like 2017 or so. And I just got my shit kicked in
because I remember when I was building this rig here, that was one of the games you were kind of mentioning, like, hey, we should look at maybe playing this or whatever.
Yeah.
So but just never got super into it.
No, never did. And then like this year, I was able to, for whatever reason, I don't know. I guess I just put a lot more research into it, like how I should be, doing my character and stuff from the beginning, and what strategies to employ and stuff. And I had like some measure of success. And then I started running with some dudes that were that actually kind of knew what they were doing, various people. And then yeah, that's the way you got to do it. I mean, if you're a new player, you really have to have some people that are into it already, or it's going to be a pretty long haul, which is kind of unfortunate. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So the best way to learn Tarkov as a new player is definitely to play with somebody who has been playing it for a while, who has experience with the game. Because one of the biggest things that hangs up new players is not knowing the maps. And so map knowledge is huge, because as soon as you as an experienced player spawn in, you know where the other spawns are around you. So you know exactly what angle people are going to be pushing from, or if you're going to just try to get a quick kill, you know exactly where to run to cut someone off, because you know where they spawn. As a new player who doesn't know the map and doesn't know the flow of that map, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're just like, I just spawned in and I'm fucking dead. This is like the fourth time in a row. This game sucks, right? So
I can just stand around with my thumb up my ass. I don't know what I'm doing.
That and the different. So like Tarkov is a hardcore shooter, but it's also semi-designed as an RPG, because your character does have this level, and the higher level you are, the better gear you have access to. And so like as a level 1 player going up against a level 30 player who has access to, he has his traders levels up, and he has like armor piercing ammo, and he has like some freaking armor with a face shield and all that shit, and you're going up to him with some basic ammo that's just not going to get it done. Like if you don't know what ammo penetrates what armor as a new player, you're at a huge disadvantage, because you're going to get like 18 hits on a guy and he's not going to die, and you're going to be like, well, what the fuck? It's because it's semi-designed as an RPG. And it's not impossible to kill a higher level player than you. It's very possible to do, but it's going to take some skill and maybe a little bit of luck. But more often than not, you're going to want to avoid fights as a brand new player to the game and try to just get acquainted with the maps.
Yeah, that was something that you said in your stream last night that I thought was really good, Tingo. And also, like the other thing that I was noticing, because you've had some newbies in your chat, and somebody was asking like, which is better, the MP5 or the M4? And it's like, actually, you're not even asking the right question, because you're not fighting weapon against weapon. You're fighting ammo against armor. Like that's it entirely. I mean, and like it matters a little bit. I mean, like you different weapons, you can have different recoil, different, mag size,
rate
like
of fire.
Those sorts of things make a difference. But at the end of the day, it's ammo versus armor. And that's the whole entire thing, which actually levels the playing field more than you would think, because even if you're a level, well, I mean, they just dumped fucking 100, how many hundreds of thousands of rounds of BP into the market, like right off the white, right? So like theoretically, I mean, somebody who's level 0 would have, the ammo to kill.
They have some killing power.
Anyone.
Yeah. A lot of people weren't happy about that. Yeah. So as a Christmas gift, Battlestate Games sent out like a little care package to all the players who play the game over the holidays. And they gave everybody 1,000 rounds of like one of the best ammunitions in the game. And a lot of people were really mad about it, because it's just like, I'm bringing in all this armor and I'm bringing in, like, I'm going against level 3s and they're just wiping me out. It's like, well, yeah, it's interesting that they decided to put that into the economy this early in the wipe, because it was like day 3 of the wipe. And it's like, everybody has the best ammo now.
Like, aren't you kind of messing up your purpose of the wipe by dumping high level ammunition?
Definitely.
And they're like, hey, we're gonna get rid of everyone's shit, put them on an even playing field. Hey, you want some of the best ammo ever?
I mean, and to be honest,
at least they gave it to everyone, right? At least,
right? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like the wipe is, it's over really quick. I mean, like you're running into god tier guys right now, and we're not that far into it. I mean, it's not over, but it doesn't last very long. Like, I mean, the low level fighting is over pretty quick, I feel like. I mean, I run into a lot of freshies still, but I also run into some big
the
dudes,
majority of players are still like pretty early on in the wipe, but there's a select few out there who You know, they're like level 30 already or whatever, and they already have access to like some of the best gear in the game. But most of like I haven't run into a lot of like class 5 armors yet. I don't even know if I've killed anybody with class 5 armor. Most of the like armor piercing rounds is stuff that's found in raid or just bought on the flea market. You know, a lot of people don't have access to buy those directly from the traders yet because they're all locked behind tasks, and the tasks are a little like not difficult, but it takes time. Like the Punisher quest line I'm thinking of in particular right now, where you have to like get a certain amount of scav kills on a certain map, and then you have to find like, you know, a certain amount of the masks that the scavs wear, right? Like it's not hard to do, but it does take time. And of course, you once you find the item in the raid, like you have to successfully get out alive for it to count towards your quest. You can't just find it, put it in your save container, and then die, because then it doesn't count anymore. So yeah, I really like this found in raid system that they added, where you used to be able to just, you have a safe container in the game, right? And then whatever you put in that safe container, even if you die, you come out of the raid with. And it's a really small container, but it used to be that, you know, you could put like a graphics card, which is one of the most expensive items in the game. You just put that in your safe container, and if you die, it didn't matter. You'd go and sell that on the flea market to someone who's using it for their Bitcoin farm or whatever. And, you know, you'd make a bunch of money. But now you can't even put it on the flea market until it's found in raid, which is, it adds a dynamic to the game where the point is to survive. The point isn't to just go and loot and then, you know, get kills or whatever. The point is to escape from Tarkov. It's in the name of the game. So whether you do that by being really good at and winning fights, or you do that by avoiding fights, you know, there's a ton of different ways. There's a ton of different play styles for the game, but ultimately they all have the same goal, which is to escape from the map within the certain, you know, time limit, within the map time limit.
Yeah.
I feel like, go ahead.
Nope.
I was gonna say, I feel like I should make an announcement.
You should. I was just about to say.
So, I have been adamant for literally like 3 years, I think, since I built this computer, for that I would not play Escape from Tarkov. I was like, no, what the fuck? I'm not playing that game. That doesn't even make sense. You just go in, and if you die, you lose your shit, and if you don't, you got some more shit, and then you're just compiling shit. I was like, why would I play that game? That seems ridiculous. With that being said, I bought Tarkov.
I felt like on the other day when you were streaming, I felt like you were confessing like a relapse or something. It really had that energy. It was like, so I know that I said, you know, I got my 6-month chip, but god damn it, 2 years, you know, like,
I just had another drink, just a little drink.
That's the thing, is like the game is so highly addicting, as punishing as it is, dude. You'll end up in like a Tarkov Anonymous meeting eventually, man. Like, hi, my name is Tango. So, I'm addicted to Tarkov.
So
Tango.
I'm curious.
Hi, Tango.
Tell us why you decided, because like I remember trying to like explain to you why it was so good, and I knew I wasn't doing a good job. And like something I've learned about Ryan after being a friend for over a decade is like if he's got it made up in his mind that he's not going to enjoy a game, then I just, you know, you might as well fucking beat your head against the wall. Like eventually he'll come around, but there's nothing I can do or say that's going to change his mind. So I just let it go for a long time. And then he texted me, what was that, like Monday?
It's like Monday, yeah.
I think it was Monday. He texted me and he was like, so Escape from Tarkov is on sale, and I'm thinking about getting it. And I couldn't concentrate on my work for the rest of the day. I was so excited. I was like, oh, this is the day. This is the day, you know? Anyway, sorry, go ahead. So what made you like decide to get it?
I actually don't know. I can't really pinpoint it to one thing. I guess so. It's a little bit of like, I've been wanting, you know, I love playing first person shooters. And I've just been needing something like fresh in my life, I think. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty and stuff, but I'm just I'm quite honestly extremely burnt out on Warzone and Call of Duty. And they continue to fuck it up really badly. So I'm just like burnt out, and I need something fresh in my life. And there's really no other first person shooter out there right now that's like breathing any fresh air into the realm. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try it. And, you guys, and I think another part of it is just being able to have a game, another game that we all play. You guys play it a bunch, obviously. And so having a game that I can play with you guys is another,
he misses
something else
us,
that kind of,
Django.
I do.
Auctioneers just wasn't cutting it for you, huh?
I mean, it was fine. It was fine,
Yeah,
but like, it's not a first person shooter, right? And so, I was just like, all right, fuck it, let's give it a whirl. So yeah, I've got the. Now I do want to say this too. So, I buy the standard edition, right? And I send a picture over to Kyle. I'm like, what have I done? I bought it, and he goes, oh, you need the Escape from Darkness or version, whatever. And I'm like, what? Edge of Darkness. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm scrolling down the page through all the versions. And I'm like, hang on, this motherfucker. And I get to the bottom, the ultimate, like,
Edge of Darkness
edition is fucking like $120. And I text back to this man, Gingerbeard, and I said, I know you did not just tell me I needed to spend $120 on a closed beta game. Like, this fucking kid bitches 24/7 about paying $60 for a AAA release game, and he just told me to spend $120 on an early access game.
If you think though, like how many hours we've put into Tarkov though, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many games have you played $60 for that you played for like a week or maybe 2 weeks, right? But Tarkov, I don't know how many hours I have into it. It's got to be hundreds, close to 1,000, if not 1,000 already. So it's definitely worth the price. But I'd say as like a brand new Tarkov player, I'd definitely recommend starting out with the standard edition. Just get your feet wet with it, because it doesn't cost any additional money to upgrade from there. Yeah, like you just pay the difference between the standard edition and the next edition that you're trying to get. So,
and that's what I told Kyle. Like, you know what? Let's stick with standard. Let's see if I don't, if it's even something I'm going to stick with, right? And we'll go from there. And if it's something that I get head over heels into, we'll consider upgrading, because it I mean, with that damn Christmas gift they gave me, so another forewarning, I haven't played the game at all at this point, right? I bought it on Monday. But, we've been trying to find a good time to really dive into it. So I actually haven't played the game at all. I've delved into the menus and the hideout and stuff. But with that fucking Christmas gift and my standard starter stash, I'm literally full. I've got no room. And so I'm already like, fuck, I need a bigger stash. And I haven't even played the fucking game yet.
There's tricks you can do though. Like, you could take all the pistol grips off of your AKs and all your rifles and stuff, and you could save a bunch of space that way. As a standard account player, you're definitely going to need to take advantage of those like tricks for saving space in the hideout. Yeah. Also, there's a bunch of different containers and stuff that you'll acquire throughout playing the game that will save you a lot of space as well. Those are going to be like absolutely critical. Because there's like ammunition boxes and medical cases, and there's boxes just for other random junk. So
I forgot how fun. The one thing about the wipe that I'm really enjoying actually is like being able to reorganize my stash again, because it just went, mostly just away. And then now you can just play the little Tetris, OCD game again. In fact, like I've planned out today at some point, I'm just going to get in there and like turn on a podcast. just play Tetris with all my little gear. Like,
holy shit.
That game, it's something else, man. It's literally just unlike anything I've ever played in my life. And I don't know. I'm glad like after the wipe, because before the wipe, I was a little bit, I was to the point where it was really starting to get grindy, and I had not played enough early wipe to really compete anymore. I mean, I could compete, but I mean, it was tough. It was a grind to get from like, I think I ended at level 29 or something like that.
You really got to grind out propers, like Punisher tasks. Once you have like decent armor piercing ammo, then that's all you need. You don't even need the best armor, dude. If all you need is to be able to kill the guys with good armor.
Yep. But I had gotten to the point where it had kind of gotten stale for me, and then we got a wipe, and I've just been like obsessed again.
That happens to a lot of people too. Like, I mean, everybody needs a break from Tarkov once in a while. I took a huge break too, and then the wipe was always just a good reason to get back into it.
I was gonna say there was a time pretty recently where I think both of you kind of took your own little breaks from it. I mean, Ginger, you didn't play it for a little while there, and then Deke, Tango, sorry, you didn't play. I want to say you didn't play for. It seemed like a month or so. You guys took
it was a few months.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sort of need. You need some psychological healing from it too.
It's stressful
because like, I mean, it is a. I never got into, like, I know you guys played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I never got into any of those like hardcore MMOs where you like just it's like all consuming and all you think about. But that Tarkov has been that for me. Like I had, like, you tweeted the other day about having daydreams about it, Dom.
Yeah.
And like I've had full-fledged dreams about, like just playing the game, which is probably not healthy, but
No, I was on my couch and I had like a stream on or something. I had like a Tarkov stream on, and I was daydreaming that I was just like walking through customs, like on the hill, that hill with all the bushes and stuff that people hide in. And I saw somebody, and he saw me, and we started shooting at each other. And I woke up from this daydream, right? And like my heart was just fucking pounding. I'm sweating. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
You sir need help,
bro.
My friend.
Oh no, you'll understand soon enough.
You're in it now. You're in it now.
No.
So this is going to be interesting because I think we should have like follow up conversations about how Ryan's newbie Tarkov experience is going. I'm also super excited. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is to teach people. Like, and not that I'm like some guru or anything, but I at least can get a freshie off the ground, and it's a lot of fun to introduce people to like all the different intricacies that you just kind of take for granted.
Well, and you were saying, like how excited you were on Monday when I told you, I was thinking about getting the game, and let me tell you, everyone, this man was sending me links, and he was like,
I was trying to dial it back too.
So excited, and then like, what was it? It was like it might have been Monday night, actually. It was Monday or Tuesday night. I think you had just gotten done playing, and you were gonna go to bed, but then you Discord called me, and we hopped on, and we spent like an hour and a half. This man walked me through like all the menus and the hideout, and he was so excited. He was so giddy. He's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Like, I feel like this is almost the best like $40 I've spent, because Kyle is just the happiest fucking kid I've ever seen in my life.
The thing about Tarkov though is like, when you try to sell someone on it and you try to just do that by explaining it, everything you say is just like, well, that sounds terrible. Why would I want to do that? Like, why would I want to go into a raid and fucking lose all my stuff? Like,
that doesn't sound like fun at all. Why would I want to do that?
And it is a very stressful game, but what you're chasing when you play Tarkov is just the thrill. You're chasing like the thrill of when you do get a victory. Like yesterday, I extracted with 30 seconds left in the timer with a broken leg, just limping to extract. I'm getting shot at by scab bosses and stuff. And like when I actually made it out of the raid with 30 seconds left on the clock to spare, I was so freaking hyped up, Like, there's some really intense moments, and it's a really fun game to watch too, because the firefights are very intense, and the guns have like this really heavy recoil. It feels like the guns have some weight to them, and so like the gun models and the gunplay of the game is like really second to none. From any first-person shooter I've ever played, I have to say, Tarkov has the best gun mechanics and just overall like shooting than any other FPS I've ever played.
So going back to, things that made me kind of what changed my mind on getting Tarkov. One of those things was, so while you guys definitely play more hardcore shooters than I do, I play a lot of Call of Duty and things like that. But I have always thoroughly enjoyed the hardcore shooters. Going back to kind of like talking about Squad, right? So like I loved Squad, and I loved gameplay in Squad. I loved the sounds and just the immersion that it made you feel in certain situations. But again, what really always kept me from getting into Squad was just the kind of the community you need to find in Squad, and the learning curve, and having people around you that would put up with you learning the game were just not there. And so that's what kind of in the end kept driving me away from Squad. But I loved the gameplay, right? So then I'm thinking, I've been watching you guys stream Tarkov a bunch lately, obviously, and I'm just like thinking, to myself, I like the idea of having of having a hardcore shooter that has some real, depth to it, and I just wanted that fresh air, and so that's really what I'm excited to play, kind of the hardcore, each bullet really matters kind of shooter, I think.
Yeah.
And it's one that I can obviously get into with you guys knowing it. So that'll be helpful. So I think that's all kind of what drove me really to reconsider.
It does kind of suck that like I was saying at kind of the beginning, because Squad is the same way. Like I'm a big fan of Squad. I really enjoyed my time playing it. And it does suck that the barrier for entry is so high, but then every time I start thinking about how you make that barrier lower, I'm not really sure how, because like you have to it has to have a steep learning curve, because if you don't have a steep learning curve, then it's just a Fortnite, right? Like you just can just access it. Anybody can play it, right? So you don't want that, but you also don't want to like drive people away that could really enjoy the game or strengthen the community and yada yada. And I actually think we were talking about this the other day, Tango, but like I think that Tarkov by and large has a pretty good welcoming community and people that are willing to teach you and that sort of thing. You run into some asshats, you run into some real asshats, like you do with any game. And Squad is kind of that. Squad was kind of that way too. I mean, for the most part, people were pretty welcoming, and they would have like new players welcome servers and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's a hard balance, though. I mean, because you can't, like I said, you can't make it accessible to everyone, or you lose out on what the game is trying to do. On the other hand, if you just have a bunch of fucking crusty grognards in there, your game is going to become crusty, and it's going to die because you're not attracting new people.
I think we've talked about it a couple times, or at least kind of forayed into it a little bit. But when it comes to these hardcore games that have those steep learning curves, I think what we've kind of decided is all the actions that would make the barriers to entry, lower, would take away from the hardcoreness of your game, unfortunately. Right. So it's kind of one of those things where you're really trying to balance having a true hardcore game, but not making it so hardcore that you can't, you just drive away all new players. I keep going back to on Squad. I follow the subreddit, the Squad subreddit, and what kind of is the epitome, in my opinion, of the Squad community is, so Squad pretty often does free weekends on Steam to allow people to try to play the game and see if they want to buy it and whatnot. The Squad subreddit despises free weekends, and I'm just like, if your player base doesn't like, new players being able to come play your game, that tells you a lot about your player base and the community that you have around it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of self-policing of your community, I think, sometimes, and make sure that people are not being dickheads.
Over in Call of Duty, before the days of skill-based matchmaking, I guess before skill-based matchmaking existed, there weren't really even free weekends, but perfect timing of when we're doing this. One of my favorite things that we can't have anymore because of skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty was what we called the Christmas noobs. And that's all the little kids, the middle schoolers who got the game for Christmas coming on and not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Just having a field day.
And you just stomp the shit out of them. And that was like, we loved that stuff. Like, come on, new players, come on in. We want to beat the living shit out of you.
Fresh meat.
Yeah. Sadly, we can't do that anymore because all I get to play against is fucking wannabe pros.
It's kind of perplexing to me. I don't know, maybe you guys don't feel this way. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if this is as strong of a take as I think it is. But it feels like to me, one of the reasons I think Tarkov is so good for what I'm looking for in gaming is because it's so rare to find. Maybe that's not exactly accurate. I mean, I can think of examples like Squad, like Postscriptum, with Beyond the Wire, of course, Arma. But it felt like for a while when we were growing up that the tactical shooters like the Rainbow Sixes and the Ghost Recons and Spec Ops, I think was another one, Operation Flashpoint. Like there was a time when every bullet matters was like a real thing in lots of video games. And for whatever reason, it feels like that's kind of lost some popularity. I mean, Tarkov, even though it's pretty popular right now, I would say is still very much a niche game. I mean, I think I saw something the other day that they had something like 200,000 concurrent players at one point, which is respectable, but that's still pretty, that's pretty niche. I think a lot more people like watching Tarkov and learning about Tarkov than they do actually playing it.
I did for a while. I watched for a while. Like the game stressed me too much to play, because I didn't have a group to run with at the time. And so I actually enjoyed watching it like on stream a lot more than I enjoyed playing it. And then I'd go and like try to play it and I'd just get shit on. So like the thing about Tarkov is you got to just let it beat your ass. There's these hurdles that all new players have to overcome. Like, oh, dude, I just got this crazy M4 and it just like sits in their stash for years and they just like sit there and admire it, but it doesn't actually do anything for them other than look nice, like getting over the gear fear, like losing your best gear is one of the biggest hurdles, because you're going to have a lot more fun with the game if you go out and you use that super modified weapon, rather than just let it sit in your stash, because it's nice to be able to use different guns in the game rather than just like go with the same fucking SKS for like 20 raids in a row or whatever. So there's like certain hurdles, like you're going to get your ass just beat. Like my first 11 PMC raids this wipe, I died every single one of those.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, my first 11 PMC raids, I got I had no money, I had nothing. I couldn't even do pistol runs at one point. And then that was like my 14 and a half hours that I streamed that day. Literally just me getting my ass beat over and over and over again. And then the next day I had a fantastic day. Like you never know. Like there's the lowest lows and the highest highs where I was like wiping squads the next day. But bro, yeah, Tarkov is such an unforgiving bitch. And the only way that you're going to learn how to play the game properly is to just let it kick your ass and try to learn something new every time you play it.
But then once you do that, and once you die 11 times and then you do the exact same thing again and you win because you learned your lesson, like there is nothing more satisfying than remembering, oh, I got fucking sniped from this corner. Like, let's not peek that way. Let's peek this way. Let's go this way around Stronghold rather than the direct approach. Like, and then having it pay off, because it's such an unforgiving bitch. And sometimes it doesn't matter. Like to your point, like you got to just resign yourself to the fact that you can make all the right decisions and still lose a lot. I watched you do that a couple of times yesterday, Tango. It gives you a satisfaction that I don't think you find in a lot of other places too.
I think that's what I'm searching for, right? I'm looking for some sort of satisfaction, because I've literally lost the satisfaction that I get from other video games right now. Like I just don't have a satisfying shooter, and so basically what has happened is what I've done is I've gotten so low in my gaming life that I have turned to a game that I swore off. It's almost like like to your point earlier, it's like I went back to drugs. Like I swore I would never do drugs again. Like, I'm done with them. I'm better without them. And now I'm like, I've lost the light. I need to go back to the drugs.
The drugs. It is a drug.
So here's a question for you guys. So I know on day one of this wipe, Ginger killed Deke. And for those who watched Ginger's stream and follow him a little bit, the running joke is Ginger always kills Deke. Like Ginger shoots Deke so many times, it is unreal.
I do shoot Deke a lot.
Have you two ever shot each other?
Maybe
I actually don't think we have.
I don't know. I mean, we've
Like,
shot
maybe-
at each other.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but never actually connected.
That's me.
Yeah.
It almost happened last night. Actually, Tango had me dialed in on the shoreline raid with the red AK. You're like, do you have an SKS? Do you have an SKS? I was like, no, I don't have an SKS. And you're like about to shoot me. You're like, wait, you have a red AK? And I'm like, yeah, I got a red AK. Look that way. The guy is
like an SKS.
that way.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so you two have never shot each other.
There
That's-
was
No, we're
actually
pretty good
no.
about
I
it.
have what it was like. Really, just the unluckiest thing that.
Oh,
could ever
that's true.
happen. Because we were playing in the factory, and I was like holding down a hallway, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start suppressing, and literally my first bullet that I shoot, Ginger runs across the doorway, and I shoot him right in the head.
I remember that clip. That is one of the best clips ever.
So freak accident.
That
A
was
freak
yeah,
accident.
like that was just really unlucky.
That was a good clip. I do
And
remember
there is
that
another
one.
clip floating around somewhere where we almost killed each other because there was this one guy, and Ginger and I were on opposite sides of the building, and this guy starts shooting at me, runs around the other side of the building, and I go around the other side of the building to meet him, and I'm searching for him, and then I run into Ginger and I start lighting him up, right? And then you and I were so confused, like, where the fuck did this guy go? He was right here, like.
He put you guys on skates.
Yeah, and he faked us out pretty damn hard.
I say that's I'm really worried about that, to be honest, going into Tarkov, because I don't know. I'm a twitchy boy, right? I come from the twitchy boy game, so like I'm bam, and oh god, that was you.
Well, just I'll put it to bed right now. You will absolutely kill somebody that you didn't mean to kill. Like that will happen. And we probably will. We might light you up a couple of times too.
Yeah.
But you know,
all part.
The
of
worst is the worst is when I killed Deke this wipe the first time. I realized
that was a great clip. That was a great clip. I love that.
I realized what was happening as it was happening, but I had the PPSH. And so literally if you so much as sneeze on your left mouse button, you're spitting like 10 rounds in the air. And I just like, I knew as I was clicking, I was like, oh no. And he's just dead.
You literally, as your gun is firing, I think in that clip, as your gun is firing, you are saying out loud, oh no. And like, exactly. And it's so funny because Deke's voice in the background, he's just like, I said I was going into that room.
Oh God.
Oh
yeah.
man.
I'm looking forward to it. I think I have high hopes.
I honestly am too. We really, the only reason we haven't played yet is we just have, I was talking to Ginger the other night and it was like, I felt like this has definitely got to be a game that we foray into when we have like a really long kind of chunk time. It's not one you want to just dink around in for an hour or something. And that's really the only gaming windows we've had this week. So I think we're getting, I'm excited. I'm excited to play.
I'm really sad that I'm going to be gone for the next couple of weeks.
That's okay. I got to catch up to you. So you go off onto the field and I'll be at level 21 or whatever by the time you're
gonna come back and I'm gonna be
Tarkov.
I'm going to be the best fucking Tarkov player you've ever seen in your life. You're going to come back from your vacation, and I'm going to be like, wha-bam!
I'm going to have Tarkov PTSD, like just an open bay with like sleeping with like 50 other people, wake up like, he's right there!
Is this you? Is this you?
Is this you?
They're gonna be like, damn, has that dude seen combat before? And they're like, no, he hasn't. I don't know what the hell his problem is.
First Sergeant, is this you? Is this you? Say so right
now. So you know what I have been playing on stream lately that's actually a lot of fun?
Oh yeah. Please
don't.
I know,
PC building simulator. So I have so as everyone knows, I've been basically on stream playing a bunch of crack shot games lately because I'm having a lot of stream issues playing Call of Duty and whatnot, right? So I've been playing like Firefighting Simulator and stuff like that. And PC Building Simulator has been a game that I've actually wanted to play for a long time, but I've never like just pulled the trigger on. And it was part of the winter sale. It was like $9. I said, fuck it, I'm playing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm playing it on stream. It'll be fun. It is a blast. It's a lot of freaking fun. And I'm just kind of So it reminds me a lot. Another game that I have, obviously, that it's very similar to is Car Mechanic Simulator, which is a lot of fun. But it's very similar to that, and I'm just kind of now getting into it. I've got 7 hours into it actually, and I am just now kind of getting into the levels of the career where you actually have to start kind of like diagnosing things yourself instead of the PCs coming in with like here's exactly what it needs and whatnot. It's been a lot of fun. I just pop some tunes on and we go to town, and actually the business kind of aspect of it has been very enjoyable. Although it's also very frustrating because one of the my biggest gripes about it is you don't pass through the shipping charges on your parts. you charge cost for the parts. So I'm just like, this is bullshit. I'm losing money on every part because I'm not passing through shipping charges and I'm not marking the parts up at all. I'm so fucking livid. I'm like, no wonder this damn business was failing when I took it over. Like, this is ridiculous.
I love those ridiculous little sim games.
They're so much fun.
They are fun, even if you only play them for like 10 hours. Like, it's always a lot of fun. I think I have Car Mechanic Simulator too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was another one that we were into for a little while that was just kind of fun. Have you guys ever seen? I have thought to myself that this would be a fun game to stream. Have you ever seen the game My Summer Car?
No, I don't think so.
I can't even really describe it to you other than like literally you're in some Eastern European, like ex-Soviet bloc country, and you have this like old beat up car that you're trying to repair, and that's pretty much it. But it's just like ridiculous like level of detail as far as like you rebuilding the engine and like trying to find parts, and then you can like get drunk and pee on things, and like one of those weirdo like drink vodka and stuff, and just one of those weirdo indie simulation games. I've seen some people play it on some streams, and people do YouTube videos about it and stuff.
So like Goat Simulator, I'm looking at it now. Like, kind of just over the top ridiculousness.
Yeah, yes, exactly that. Except it also like I'm pretty sure you literally like pick up fucking like spark plugs and stuff and have to stick them in the engine and like rebuild carburetors and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
I love that. I was
hoping you guys had heard of it, so I wouldn't have to try to explain the whole thing. But
the peeing on stuff sounds pretty lit, I guess.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I'm reading through the bullets on Steam, the Steam store for it right here, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So like the first few are very, straightforward, and it's like detailed driving and engine simulation, various other vehicles to use and drive. And then you get down here and it's like permanent death, sauna bathing. Like
Finland. It's in Finland. Sorry.
90s Finnish summer. Like what?
Yeah.
Wait, what is going on now? It just goes so off the rails there. So actually your description of it was very on par.
Yeah.
You started out with, you're trying to rebuild this car, and then all of a sudden you're peeing on things. Like what?
Right.
Hang on.
Right.
Why are all of these games always set in? Actually, I think I just answered my own question, but I was going to ask, why are all these like odd games always set in like some weird Eastern European city? But I think it's because that's where a lot of these developers are. It's like in Eastern Europe.
Dude, like Eastern European game developers are something else, man. I mean, they
you guys see the Stalker 2 trailer, the new teaser?
Oh no, I need to go watch
engine?
it.
Oh, there's a new teaser out for it.
It's a teaser, but of like the fucking game engine. Ooh. And it looks really good.
Ooh.
It's really good. I'm really excited for Stalker. Something about the post-apocalyptic, like Russian/Eastern European setting is just so much more sobering than like an American, Western post-apocalyptic setting. I don't know what it is, but something about like those old concrete Soviet block like structures,
the block buildings. Yeah.
And just
I think
it's just it's so much more gritty.
So I think also not to speak for you, Ryan, but I also think because you love the fucking like Chernobyl sort of stuff and like I think you'll really enjoy Tarkov for that reason too, because it's got, I mean, it is just apocalyptic Russia as pretty, and now they've got fucking cultists. Like it's gonna get, I think it's gonna get real weird by the time they're done with it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely infatuated with like the Chernobyl event and just kind of Eastern European, that like time frame is neat.
Dude, the new Stalker was going to be awesome though. I'm super excited about that.
Oh yeah, I haven't played a soccer game in so long. It has been so long.
I think the reason I ever even was interested in Tarkov to begin with is because I was like kind of chasing that Stalker vibe, where I just saw gameplay videos and I saw this guy like walking through some post-apocalyptic Russian city with an AK, and even though they're totally different games, that was what I was like kind of chasing when I picked up Tarkov for the first time. And that, and like I was always really into DayZ, obviously too, and it was kind of like, see, the thing about Tarkov is it's kind of a combination of a lot of aspects of a lot of different games. Like you have the survive aspect of DayZ, but it's also this quasi battle royale where it puts you in this map, and like, you don't have to be the only person alive, but you're always constantly checking around corners because you don't know where people are, and you're looking for fucking food and like whatever to survive. And also, like I said, kind of built almost like an RPG at the same time, where you have like your character progression, your character's actually developing as you're playing, and you can feel the difference. You can feel your recoil control skills going up when you're spraying an AKM and you're not jumping to the ceiling off of your third round, when you're like later in the game. It's got a lot of different aspects of a lot of great games as well. Just also the post-apocalyptic setting is awesome. Tarkov is an awesome setting.
I don't know, how you guys feel about it, but something I'm actually very excited for in Tarkov is this the hideout thing. So I love like the kind of that gives it, to me, that gives it like some gravity to like what you're going out into the world for. I think that's been one of my biggest pushback to Kyle every time he would talk about Tarkov was like, but what do you do like with the stuff, right? Like, so you go out and you raid and you get these things, and I'm like, but there's nothing like you're really doing with it. But the idea of kind of always wanting to upgrade your hideout and whatnot, that gives it kind of some gravity of what you're going out to get, and kind of you're trying to make your place better and help it drive some value for you in the passive sense and whatnot. So like I'm excited about that. Like I can really get behind. I think we've talked about just kind of base building in general and whatnot is something I really enjoy. So like when we were talking about Fallout 4, my favorite aspect about Fallout 4 was that base building kind of mechanic that they had in it and whatnot, and so all of that stuff. So I don't know how the hideout is perceived in like the actual Tarkov community, but I'm excited about it. It seems like an interesting concept that kind of gives some substance to what you're really doing, I guess.
The Tarkov was a really nice addition. So like when I first played Tarkov, there was like maybe 3 different types of armor in the game. And like there was like your AK-74 and your AKM, and that was it. There was no more AKs. Now there's like 40 different types of AKs, right? Or in the AK-74U, it was also a thing too. There was no hideout. There was like no medical animations. There's the medical system in Tarkov has really just become this elaborate, super in-depth system now, especially with like you have to balance your hydration levels, where if you take painkillers, your character gets dehydrated. So you also need to find water. And like, I think they're going to eventually make it so that your character will get addicted to painkillers or certain drugs if you use them too much or something like that.
Hell yeah.
It's a super like elaborate system that a lot of this wasn't there before. And the hideout was something that I remember when they came out with the hideout, it kind of just like dropped out of nowhere. Like nobody was really expecting it. They were just like, oh, this is the patch. We have a hideout. Cool. And a lot of people didn't really know like if that was going to do something good for the game or not. And I think it's actually a pretty well received aspect of the game now. Like people were glad that they added it. I'm glad they added it, because especially since hydration and like energy, none of that shit used to matter at all. You could go into a raid, you get out of the raid, your character's fully hydrated. Like, you could just you find food really easily, like, but you didn't really have to worry about any of that shit. Now you actually have to go out there and scavenge for food and stuff, and having the hideout, leveling that up so that your character doesn't lose energy as quickly and doesn't dehydrate as quickly because you're building a water collector, you're building your like kitchen or whatever, you're building your rest area. And that is all you're feeling those effects from having the hideout upgraded by not having to eat as much. And when you're like, literally, you can't go into a raid without finding something to drink, or else your character dies because he fucking can't drink for 45 minutes or whatever. It makes a huge difference. You really feel it. So yeah, like you were saying, Ryan, there really is a reason to go and try to upgrade your hideout. And the parts for your hideout upgrades are not that easy to find. Like they're not difficult to find, but you need to go and find a lot of them, right? So you're going to need to go out and constantly be raiding and looking for these parts to be able to upgrade them, unless you're willing to spend top dollar on the player flea market, which is another thing that didn't used to be in the game too, that added a whole new dynamic to the game. It's just player driven market. But the hideout is awesome. Plus, like, you have your shooting range in there too, so you could test out different gun builds, in your shooting range. And that was actually another thing that really sold me on the game too, is how in depth the gun customization is. The whole reason I bought an AK-47 in real life is because of Tarkov. I'm not even gonna lie. All the parts that I got, all the parts that I have on my AK are like parts that I found in game. Right. And then I was like, oh shit, I can actually get that in real life. So I went and fucking I built an AK because of Tarkov. My optics that I'm using on it, my the buttstock that I have and the foregrip and all that stuff, like, all that shit is from like Tarkov. Because I thought it was really interesting that they were using real like gun parts from real manufacturers that they were having in the game. Because then you go and play a game like DayZ and they can't even call an AK-47 an AK-47. They're all called KAs or whatever the fuck. That's a huge turnoff for me. I don't know why. Yep. It's a huge turnoff for me that you can't just call it an AKM,
Yeah, but I'm the same way. I get really irritated in games where it's very clear what that gun is, and they don't call it that. And I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but it drives me mad when that happens. Freaking kills me.
It's for like copyright shit, but like, and Mikhail Kalishnikov is gonna come and like fuck you up for putting an AK in your name? Like, get the hell out of here.
So maybe this probably shows my ignorance on the subject, but so does Kalishnikov have the rights to AK-47? Because obviously there's a bunch of different manufacturers. Like for every gun type these days, there's a million different manufacturers. Does a single manufacturer truly have the only right to call their gun? Like let's go with like the AK-47 or like the 1911 or something like that. Is there only one manufacturer that actually has the rights to that?
Like M4s, for example, are made by Colt.
And so they're the only ones that can
an AR-15. But
gotcha.
They call it the M4 is an AR. Right? Is built on the AR-15 platform, but Colt manufactured the M4s,
the M4,
M16s, and all that stuff.
Huh. Yeah.
Same as like Heckler and Koch, the HK416, that kind of shit. But a lot of these gun manufacturers and parts manufacturers, I feel like really don't mind having their weapons in games. I feel like if Bohemia had gone and just went to these weapon manufacturers and like, hey, can we use your gun or your parts in our game? They'd be like, sure. Like Glock loves having their shit in people's games. Glock loves having their shit anywhere. Yeah. But even in DayZ, that's called like an M-Lock 91 or something. Like,
it's like they were just like, oh man, I don't want to go talk to people. We'll just call it something else.
Right.
Yeah. That's exactly what it feels like, man. It feels like it was just lazy. Like, I don't want to call these people up.
Yeah, I have social anxiety. I don't want to call anyone.
We're a bunch of gamers.
Yeah, I'm a game developer. I am not a social person.
I think that Escape from Tarkov, though, has people that work, or like Battle State Games has people that work within their organization who's like, that is their job, is just to maintain those contracts with all of these different firearms manufacturers and these parts manufacturers. So I guess Bohemia just doesn't have that guy.
Yeah, any decently sized company should have a contracts group, probably.
Mm-hmm. They also need to have a good dick designer guy too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we know where to find.
Who's your
one of
dick
those.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you getting your dicks? You're paying too much for it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know Cyberpunk's kind of a dead horse at this point, but there was this one bug that somebody told me about that was pretty funny, where they actually had their penis like popping out of their pants, and they couldn't like.
That's not a
Is
bug.
that a bug or a feature?
I think they just left the fly open, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like just going commando.
We've all been there where you've looked down and your pecker's sticking out. Oh my!
Oh man, how'd that happen?
Well, that's a damn shame, and that's why I'm not allowed at the Kroger anymore. What are we at on time?
55 minutes.
Oh, we got time, boys. So I'm kind of excited. I kind of want to talk. So peep the new headphones. I got some fun stream stuff for Christmas. I'm really excited.
Hell yeah!
So I got these new headphones, which are awesome. These new Corsairs. So I'd been rocking like the my like entry level Logitech headset, which did great. But it's like their entry level like $40 headset since I built this computer. And I was like, you know what? I think the reason that I'm not a professional gamer is because of my headset. And so I asked for a headset. My girlfriend's brother actually bought it for me. But it's been lit, and then I got a Stream Deck, which I'm super excited for.
Isn't it?
And I think Tango got a Stream Deck too.
I did. So my wife actually knows nothing about streaming at all. But she just Googled like top gifts for streamers, and just like Stream Deck happened to be like the #1 gift that she found. So she got that for me, and I was like, holy shit, that is like huge brain play by my wife, because I didn't even know how bad I wanted a Stream Deck until I had one. It is so nice.
It's awesome. I don't think I've even like truly unlocked the full potential of it. Like I'm still kind of messing around with it and whatnot. And, but
I know people who use them for just everyday use. They don't even stream,
Really?
People who trade stock use them. They use them as like, they have like a buy and sell button on the thing. Yeah, like
that's
a lot
like
you can do with them.
That's fucking 5-head. Who would have thought?
That is 5-head. Yeah.
That's sweet. Yeah. What the fuck was I going to say? The one thing I still need to figure out is so like what are you using for your icons? Have you messed around with the icons at all?
No. So I have a lot of voice mod, like voice changers on mine, and that is actually pre-built in there. So every voice has its own
those are
picture.
already there. Those are fun. I've been messing around with voice mod a bunch. That's
pretty fun.
That's pretty fun.
It is so nice to just have that.
So
it's fucking hit
us with the kernel. No. I want this to be immortalized in Easy Company podcast history forever. Hit us with the whole thing.
All right.
Because we've heard it a bunch. Here we go.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
That is the beauty of having a Stream Deck right there.
$150 right there. Worth the price of admission.
There you go. Send that clip to your wife and be like, thank you for the Christmas present.
Also having the button for like just putting a marker up on your stream. So like when something crazy happens, you just hit the marker button. You can go back and watch the replay later and highlight it is really, really useful.
I feel like that's going to be worth the $150 on my end, right there, because going back through and trying to remember where all of your shit was is the worst, especially if like your ass streaming for 14 hours, like going through a 14-hour VOD and trying to find spots where like, oh, where did that happen? I that's insane. It's hard enough on a 4-hour fucking VOD.
It's huge. It's huge. That and having the buttons just to run ads too, without having to like go to your creator dashboard, or like I used to have a command that I would run with Nightbot, so I'd have to like type in my chat like commercial, but now I just have it at the click of a button, and it's like sometimes you forget to do it, but with the Stream Deck right here in front of me, it actually reminds me to like, hey dude, run ads. It's been an hour or whatever, and especially like playing a game like Escape from Tarkov when you're in between raids, that way people aren't missing anything exciting. If you're just in your stash or like, oh, I just died, the rest of the squad is going to finish the raid. Let me just run an ad, or I'm going to go take a piss break or a coffee break, run an ad while I'm gone. Like, you have the button right there, and it's just so nice.
Go ahead.
I was going to kind of derail us a little bit.
Please do.
Speaking of long streams, I finally finished Red Dead. I'd like
Holy
to make this.
shit!
I'd like to make this announcement on
that?
the podcast because we started here and then now we're done. So, like 14 and some change hours.
That was a
later.
long night. That was a long night. I can't believe we got this far into it, and I completely forgot. But
I wish I could have stayed up for it. I'd work the next day, and I was like, I really want to see Ginger's reaction to the ending of this game, man.
Yeah.
So what did you think? What was your final synopsis on Red Dead Redemption 2?
I mean, it was the best game I've ever played. I mean, it literally lived up to every expectation that I had, as far as the ending went. I don't know. Like, I guess spoiler alert. Like, I mean, I knew Arthur was dead, right? Like from just the start of everything. But like, oh God, like, I don't know. I'm like getting goosebumps a little bit talking about it. I feel like I was so tired at the end of it too, that I don't think like the emotional work I had to do to get through it, I couldn't do, until like days later. But I mean, I a good video game, no matter what it is, whether it's Stardew Valley with like pixel graphics or, Red Dead Redemption 2 with like some of the best graphics that we've seen in a video game ever up to this point. What it should do is it should make you feel things, right? And should give you an experience and yada, yada. And like thinking about from where you start with, sort of assembling the gang again, and getting to know these characters and really starting to care about them. And, they're a bunch of fucking criminals, but they have depth and personality to them. And they're, they have some good in them, if you're into that. And regardless, they're a group of kind of friends, and then to see the evolution of that group just completely falling apart due to basically the egomaniacal, Dutch. And then having Arthur kind of caught in the middle of that as, Dutch is his like kind of father figure who took him under his wing and really was something special, him and Jose, and then have him have to sort of reckon with the fact that Dutch is not the same Dutch that he used to be, and the group is not the same group that it used to be, and the world that he's in, which they explored a lot in Red Dead 1, the world that he's in is not the same world that it used to be. Yep. And then he's kind of this dying breed. But I think the thing that was the most beautiful about that game was how, and I would like to see somebody, I don't think I want to play through it again because holy shit, that took a long time. But I would like to see somebody play through it again with Arthur as just a total dickhead. Because
the dialogue changes.
Yeah, and see how it makes you feel, because at the end of it, like he's really trying, at least my gameplay, he was really trying to like convince himself, because he knows he's going to die, right? He's got tuberculosis. He's going to die one way or the other, whether it's a bullet or he's going to cough his lungs up. And he's trying to sort of figure out, like, have I been a good person or not? And then like he's got these really heartfelt conversations with like the nun and like and with other people, with John. I mean, that last scene with John was crazy. I mean, it's just like, no, like you go survive. Like I'm checked out. I'm done. If there's something, I've done something good, it's you and Abigail and that boy are getting out of this whole mess alive, which of course we kind of know how that story ends too. It doesn't end super well, but then he's just able to, just check out. Like he's done his duty. I mean, it was really good closure. I don't know. I mean, it was an excellent, it felt like watching a movie the whole time, and a really good movie, Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really ever felt, there's been very few characters that I've felt such a connection with as far as like Arthur Morgan, because like, yeah, I mean, he's he's a product of his environment in a lot of ways, but he's also a good dude, and if you choose to play him that way, I guess. I mean, I guess it's up to the player's interpretation. Yeah. He's trying to be, and he's a hardened fucking criminal and murderer, but he also has a certain amount of a code, and like, unless it was for the laughs, I really didn't kill people that didn't really deserve to be killed. So I guess there's that thing.
Except for the memes.
Yeah, except for the memes. I mean, but yeah, I mean that game, just the whole thing was just as amazing as I had hoped it would be. And I'm glad that I'm sad that it took me this long to finish it, but also glad that I was able to do it, in the way that I was. It felt kind of special. So anyway, I don't know. It was good.
I think I was more sad that my horse died though than Arthur. Because like you said, dude, you knew Arthur was gonna die one way or the other. But that goddamn horse, and I don't know, man, that was like your third or fourth horse or something, right? I had one horse from the very beginning of the game all the way to the end. So when Bojack died, I was just in fucking anguish. I was like, no, you didn't deserve this. He was a good boy. And shaking my fist at the world. But if you get a chance, whether you do it on stream or off, definitely go back and play the epilogue, dude.
You got to play through the epilogue. Yeah, you got to play through the epilogue. But that was a wild day for Ginger's stream. So I had been kind of consulting him offline. I was kind of assessing where he was at in the story, and I was refreshing myself with how, all the missions left and whatnot. And I told him one night, I'm like, yeah, I think you can make it happen in one more stream. I think you can finish it off. I was like, it's going to probably have to be a long stream, but you can probably do it. And so I think it was a Sunday or a Saturday or something. It was Sunday, and you set off on your adventure. And I remember I was playing some games during the day when you started, and I looked up and I was checking your progress, and I'm like, holy shit, he's not going that fast. And
I was taking my time.
There was a couple times I looked up, and this guy was fishing, and I'm like, fishing. I was like, you don't have time for fishing, sir. And so nighttime rolls around. It's 8 or 9, and he's still got a ways. And I'm like, holy shit. And I remember telling him in his chat, I'm like, dude, I'm here. If you're gonna stick around and you're gonna finish it, I'll stay up. I'm here. We're doing this. A little did I know that meant 3 o'clock in the morning my time. Yeah. And he finally gets through it, and to your point, I was like, holy shit, he's done. I gotta go to bed.
What the hell?
Holy hell. But yeah, that was a long stream, dude. But congrats. He finally did it.
Finally did it.
So you gotta stay on Twitch, right? You can
I get to stay on Twitch now. I don't have to quit Twitch forever.
That was the deal. So congratulations on staying on Twitch.
It was kind of a podcast member. So that's awesome
right, exactly. Well, I didn't say anything about YouTube. I just said Twitch. So technically I could still do this, but it is kind of interesting. I've been wanting to dive into, Tarkov is going to be obsession for a little while. But I think I want to do another, just commit to finishing a game, viewers or not, fucking whether I'm having fun or not, just because I have so many in my library. Mm-hmm. I've been really thinking about Kingdom Come Deliverance, because that's another one that's gonna take forever. And just have one
longer than Red Dead. I'm pretty sure it would take way longer than Red Dead.
Absolutely.
Is that got a super long? I have that game, but I've never.
It's just a really big open world with a lot of side quests, and
Good, is that a good game?
Yeah, very good.
It's good. It's super immersive. What's holding me back is the combat. I could never get the hang of, and so I don't know if I just need to go do some more looking at YouTube videos and trying to learn it.
How long did you play the game for?
I've got let me look here. I've got several hours into it. I want to say I put 40 hours into it.
Oh damn! Because I remember
I got a ways.
The combat really was a struggle in the beginning, because your character is supposed to suck at everything. Right. You're this skinny little fucking basically teenage kid. Right, no armor, no good weapons, and even if you have a good weapon, you're garbage at fighting. You're supposed to be like that. But I remember at some point in the game, your character just gets good. Your hits that didn't land before start landing now. I think there's some RNG that goes behind it that's tied to your character's skill level at combat. And I did spend a lot of time with that sword master or whatever, the guy who teaches you in the beginning, just practicing different combos and stuff. But like it's a rough grind in the beginning because your character is just ass at everything, but eventually you start to get good, and not even by doing anything differently per se, just, you know, shots start landing and stuff like that.
Right. It's got a really good story to it though, and like the it's beautiful. So anyway, I think I might actually get into that at some point soon, just because it was nice. I did like, just for streaming, to have a game like I didn't have to decide what to play. You know, like I'm playing through this, like, and you know, whether somebody shows up, whether people show up or not, like we're gonna be here doing this, and
it's not what it's about anyway. I don't honestly. Recently, I turned my viewer count off. I literally just hide it. I don't even care. I don't even care about it anymore, and I feel like my content's better for it. So, you know, at the end of the day, just fucking play what you want to play and have fun with it. Yeah. That's my take on it anyway.
2021, the year that Ginger cleans out his game closet and finishes some shit.
We might need to go into 2022 for that. Good Lord.
2030.
Tell you what, man.
2077.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, boys, I think that's gonna do it for episode 10.
Sounds good.
Any closing remarks from either of you?
No. Happy New Year, everybody. Even though it's a little bit late, hopefully you guys have a good year. Make the most of it.
Yeah, it was a shit year for many people. I think we're all pretty lucky to be relatively unscathed from it, but I think we can say that we can be thankful for the podcast, for each other, for the friends we've made this year. I mean, I don't know, I don't want to speak for y'all, but for me personally, that's been my experience. So trying to keep that front and center.
Absolutely agree. I say it all the time, man. Like, you know, 2020 has been a rough year for a lot, but one good thing that came with it, meeting you guys and all this shit that's happened in between. Like, I've met a lot of friends on the internet this year. Like, just Twitch has fucking brought a lot of people together this year. And that was one thing I could say that was really awesome about 2020. So not to focus on the negatives and just think about that shit, man. Like, it's been a really good year for making friends.
Yep.
Yeah. It has. It's been good. And we'll just roll that momentum into 21.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, so everyone, for those on the audio version, you guys want to go ahead and give us your handles? Tango, you can start.
Yeah, it's 12 Tango Dom on Twitter and Twitch. Stream every weekend and whenever I can on the weekdays, whenever work allows me.
I've got at GingerBeerd92 on the Twitter, and GingerBeerdGaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/GingerBeerdGaming. I stream Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You generally throw some bonus streams in there as well, but come check it out. Say hey. Probably going to be playing a lot of Tarkov in the next couple of weeks. And I don't know, maybe starting Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Hell yeah.
And I am at AngryPrivateRyan on Twitter, but the private is PVT. And then AngryPrivateRyan on Twitch. I stream Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Monday and Thursday are evening streams. And you never know what you're going to get with me because I don't know what I'm going to play. So, you know what I'm hoping for in 20.
A good time, regardless.
You know what I'm hoping for in 2021? A fucking 3080 graphics card. We'll see.
I don't know. Might have to push that one for a couple of years too.
2077 on that one too. Fuck.
The new 4,000 series cards are going to come out by the time you can get your hands on one of those.
Oh, it's unreal. So we'll see how that goes. But I stream all kinds of weird shit. So come hang out. Come say hey. It's a blast. And everyone, Happy New Year. For those on the YouTube version, all the links for our handles are going to be down in the description. Hit that like button. Hit the sub button on YouTube. Come chat in the comments and let us know what you think and what you want to hear us talk about in 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. Take care. And we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Later, dudes.